Happy Friday, folks. Welcome in. Hope you've had a good week up to this point. I hope you're going to have a good rest of your Friday, and I hope you're going to have a wonderful weekend. But first, before any of that, y'all, it is Fantasy Map Friday. You ready for it? I am pumped. It's my favorite day of the week. So without further ado, everybody, let's get to it. Let's make a fantasy book. You're going to have a good rest of your Friday. Fantasy book map. My apologies. I'll be making the fantasy book after the stream's over. Alright, so for those who have been here, you may notice I did a little bit of work off stream on this. A little bit of sneaky work. I had some stuff I had to fix on it to make it canonically accurate for book one. So I can pull that out. I can show you what I did real quick. Penguin Bread, hello. Welcome in, my friend. Love the avatar, as always, with a profile picture. So for those that might have been hanging out, let's see if I can find these layers. There we go. You might notice everything to the left of these mountains, right up in here, that's all new. We stuck a whole new peninsula on there. Misfit Mikey, good to see you, buddy. How you doing? Been a minute. Hope you've been good. So the reason that I made some changes off stream, which I typically don't do, even just because, I don't know, I guess I enjoy it, I needed to make it accurate to book one. So if I turn this on, see all those little numbers that popped, little letters that popped up? Those are locations from book one. Which, Green Dog, what's up, my guy? You said, what's the book going to be called? The book is actually already out. There you go. Wriggly Little Hands. It is a comedy fantasy about goblins on a road trip to retrieve the Dark Lord's doomsday weapon and help him defeat those pesky forces of good. But they're goblins, so you know they mess it up. You know they get sidetracked. And you can see here, these are the locations that they go to, and here's their route out in book one. So you can see there's a fair bit of side questing goes on here. And I wanted to get all of that into the map. So, Green Dog, but greener, if that sounds interesting to you. It's linked in my bio. Feel free to check it out, my guy. I'm working on the sequel now, and we're making the map for it. So, that was why I added a bunch of... hold on. I'm new to these layers. It's a new feature in Incarnate. That's why I added that territory. It was important to be canonically accurate for book one. How many books am I planning on doing? I've written a lot of books as it is now, but in the world of Wrigley is probably what you're asking. I'm doing at least one more, the sequel that I'm writing now, but I'm making this big world map because I want to write a bunch of stories in this world. So we're going to write a whole bunch of them. That's why we have this vast, expansive world we're building. Paul, I did not make the avatar map, though people say it's similar to this style, so I appreciate that. I'll take that. So where do we want to work today, y'all? There's a big, we've really heavily worked on the left side of the map over here. But if I scroll to the right, the poor right side of the map is so unloved at this moment. There's not there's not much going on there. So I guess we could get over there. We also need to do something for the north. Penguin, you want to work on the purple? There's not much to do there aside from putting foliage in, which we're kind of not doing at the moment. We're doing the geography scale, kind of. Because the purple area, here, I'll pull it up. You probably remember, but the purple area is the fungal jungle, which chat recommended. I've already kind of recreated it on that map. It just needs its village, road, and the the fungi. So there's not too much to do on that one, except put all that in there. But that's a later step. Right now we're doing terrain, coastlines, big geography, etc. Oh, thank you. I'm glad you like how the map's looking so far. I've been making it with chat, so I appreciate everybody's input. Said do the purple and the brown. Where's the brown that you're talking about? Talking about, right? Is it right in here? The kind of red area? We could do that one. That's going to be some detail work in there. Author Wilton Burke, good morning. Meg H, good morning. Australian, this is not for D&D. This is for my book right here, Wriggly Little Hands, which is out now. It's linked in my bio if you want to check it out. It's a silly comedy fantasy about goblins on a quest to retrieve the Dark Lord's doomsday weapon and help him defeat those pesky forces of good. But they're goblins, y'all. They're not good at that. We create this in Incarnate. I'm going to put it in chat for you. There you go. It is an online map maker. Alright, we got to figure out what we're going to work on today. The desert that we did last stream is looking pretty good, y'all. I'm pretty happy with it. I think probably just the tip of this peninsula needs a little bit of work. And then maybe down in here, but I don't know. This desert can be desert, you know, it doesn't have to have something everywhere. Also, this new peninsula needs to get fleshed out a little bit. I guess we can start adding trees to places. Or, yep, I agree, Bo. The impact crater would be fun to work around. I got no logic, no lore for what's going on around there, aside from the fact that it was made by a wizard experiment gone wrong. Chad, you said, was that Cyprus? Yep, that's correct, my man. My family's from there, so I put it in as an Easter egg, but it was too obvious. So we just fully committed to it and said, you know what? Cyprus now exists in this world. Cam, you said deltas form as rivers go into oceans. They don't start at mountains. Well, this is a delta, my dude, in the ocean. I don't know where you're seeing a delta near mountains, but your statement is factually correct. It just doesn't seem too relevant. So where to work today? We could flesh out Cyprus. I mean, that's a fun little one-stream project. Kyler over on Video App. Hello, my friend. Welcome in. Alright, we're getting a lot of Cyprus love. Maybe we just do Cyprus today. I feel like that's been a long time coming. Oh, I'm painting the background, not the foreground. We got to make sure we change that. They just did a massive update to this app, Incarnate, Sippo, if you're asking. And I'm still not entirely used to all the new controls. But we're going to start by just painting in a little bit of a climate suggestion for, yep, this is Cyprus, for those asking. We're just throwing it in this world. My family's from there. I'm going to say this so much today, y'all. My family's from there. I'm putting it in as an Easter egg. It was too obvious, so we made it full on in the world. So now Cyprus exists in this world. Alright, the mountains here, that's probably, we're going to need to do small mountains, I think. Here's the full map for those just joining. A lot of area to work in. For those that have been following along, you might notice there's a new thing that got added in between streams. I did a little bit of cheeky work on my own here. This whole peninsula here, actually, people that have read the book too will enjoy it. This whole peninsula is new, and the reason for that is I needed to add the places mentioned in book 1. So you see all these little letters? Those are points of interest from book 1. And this would be the main character's route throughout book 1. I needed to get that on the map because obviously we're working on book 2 these days, but I wanted the route from book 1 mapped out so we knew what areas had to be on the map. JD, I have Cyprus here because my family's from Cyprus. We had put it in as an Easter egg, and it was too obvious, so now we're just full leaning into it. You know what? Cyprus exists in our fantasy world. which means Halloumi canonically exists, and I am very okay with this. To make it, I use Incarnate as an online map maker. Alrighty. We do need to do the plains in here too. We could do that. That might be a quick one. Let's jump on that real quick. All right. So, as well, for those that weren't here, this map right here is the original map from Book 1. But this is just a small portion of the territory covered in Book 1. So, if we take that little map, I have it right here. You can actually overlay it onto this big one. Assuming I can line this up, right? There we go. So you can overlay it and see how the original map compares to our world map, as we're calling it. And I've fleshed out most of the regions there, but I need to do right in here. So let's do that today. That's going to be pretty easy too, because we can literally just follow the existing template. So that'll be a quick one to kind of finish out, transferring over, you know, the old map to the new. It is big, right? The new one compared to the old. That's why it's taken so long, but I'm enjoying working on it. Jack Ann, good to see you. Good morning, good morning. Neil, you as well. Welcome in, y'all. Hope you're doing well. Happy Friday to you. There are civilizations, plenty of civilizations. Peoples, creatures, countries, kingdoms, etc. I'll add those in later, so it's going to look a bit like... Here's another map we did. See how we have these dotted lines that are painted with a color? Those represent political borders. And then we have the marks for the cities, the icons for the cities and towns. We'll add those in once we get to it. But right now we're still doing geography, climate, all that stuff. So this one's going to be like a different layer that we'll put over the map at some point. But for now, we need to do some hills. So let's get some hills going here. And I'm just going to follow roughly the template established on the old map as I place... Oh, these are sand dunes. That's not quite right. I need hills, not sand dunes. Let's go ahead and get rid of that sand dune. We're going to put a hill there. Thank you for the follows, by the way. I appreciate y'all. I'm just going to roughly plop these where existing hills are. And then we'll figure it out from there once we remove the overlay. Yeah, I do like the dunes, and actually there are a few on the overlay. They're hard to see, but there are a few old dunes on this map that we'll throw in. Alright, and now this is the difficult part. There was a very small little mountain region right in here. I do need to add that in as well, so let's grab some little teeny tiny mountains. Small mountains, there we go. Oh, and they were red too. That's okay, we can paint them. We can paint that color later. That's not so hard to do. Right now we just kind of got to plop them down. Figure out where they're going to live. That, like that. I think there's one right here. Alright, I think that got them all. And now let's move off the overlay and put it back. I want to make sure the mountains are correct there. I guess we'll mess with the opacity. It's a good way to do it. I'm just missing one mountain. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. Alright, come on now. Overlay, line up, please. There we go. The last mountain was right there. Okay, no more overlay needed for the moment, so we'll get that out of there. Thanks for joining, everybody. I appreciate you hanging out with me. We are using Incarnate to make this. It is an online map maker. The overlay, Lestro, is a map that I made originally, this one. and I've just imported it as a custom stamp and then made it opaque. So I can put it here, and you can see where it's basically, that's the old map region, and now we're into the map world. So I'm just like kind of copying this on here. Haven, or Heaven, it is kind of hellish in that region because that is the Dark Lord's domain. That is our legally distinct Mordor, as we like to call it. So that's why it looks so evil there. We have some nicer places on the map, though, too. We're using ink Carnet to create it. Grant Mitch, you said, is it Barad-dûr? It is, my man, pretty much. Very much inspired by it. We do poke fun at Tolkien in the book. I love Tolkien. I'm rereading Fellowship right now. So yeah, definitely intentionally looks like Mordor. Alright, I think I need the overlay back again just real quick to sketch out. You want to see what the Swamp of Sadness is? It's the Swamp of Sadness and Sweaty Underthings. It's where the goblins come from. They start the book right there in their little town and go off on their quests. We have it on this map. It's right in here. I just haven't, put all the trees in and stuff. Alright, let me grab this overlay again because I want to do the rest. I want to sketch out the rest of the plains. There's a couple important points of interest there that need to be carried over. Alright, there we go. That's lined up. So there's this impact crater with a creepy well in it. I don't think I have that asset in this map pack because it's a different type of map pack. But we'll do the best we can. Do we have the spiky things? I don't think we do. So we might have to just brush that detail over a little bit. Loot Noodles, we're using ink Carnet to make this. It's an online map maker. So for some reason, it looks like I have too many hills. In the original version, that was alright, but it's looking like too many now. So I might slim that down a little bit. Just make it look... Oh, you know what? And there's even hills that we're missing here. Yeah, see, that's just... The old map was zoomed in, so there's a lot more detail I can do. I can't do as much detail on this, high level of map. So we'll just do our best to recreate it. You sure this ain't a real map? I think I've seen all this in Florida. Hey man, I'm from Florida, can verify. Maybe it was inspired a little bit by personal experience. Alright, so mainly what I need to just do is just get this crater in here. So we'll just plop a crater down, and then the rest we'll do creative interpretation. Doesn't have to be an exact replica of the original map. Boom, there's our crater. Alright, and we're gonna ditch the overlay. We're gonna go freeform on it. Get out of here, overlay. You're incredibly helpful. Alright, so we need to paint the climate of the plains as well. If you'll notice, I paint different areas, different colors to indicate the climate. It's swampy down here in the green. It's hot and dry in the desert with a little bit of green here at the oasis. So the plains are this is supposed to be a dusty, dry region. We typically use kind of like this brown for that. So I think I'm going to grab that brown for these plains, and we're going to darken it up. Mandofish? Like Mandofish? You said, is this inspired by Atla? Avatar The Last Airbender. No, not really. Though I do love Avatar The Last Airbender. It's incredible content. Amil the Purple is the fungal jungle. Chat had us create that, so it's this jungle right in here. Which is different from the swampy jungle the goblins come from. Just kind of a cool area. I think we said toxic gases and pollen all in the air that like makes you cough and stuff. And a lot of big mushrooms. All right, so let's paint these plains the dusty cold I want them to be. I need to up that opacity a little bit. I know it's not that big of a color difference from the neutral brown that it already is. That's a little some. A little bit darker still. I think the color, the way we made the color on the last map for them, I think we actually blurred. Yeah, we did brown as an underlay, and then we made it gray on top of it, so maybe we'll do some gray in there. For those asking about the book, it is right here. Wriggly Little Hands. It's a comedy fantasy about goblins on a quest to retrieve their Dark Lord's doomsday weapons. They can help them defeat those pesky forces of good. But they're goblins. They mess it up. They get distracted. They go on side quests. They do a terrible job generally. But it's fun to follow along. If you want to read it, it's linked in my bio. Please check it out. It's audiobook, ebook, paperback. And I'm working on book 2 now. And it takes place in this world here. Alright, let's get these plains a little bit of a creepy gray color, because they're supposed to be sad. They're not a happy place. Probably the approach to the Dark Lord's domain shouldn't be a happy thing. Oh, that's too bright. Turn that opaque. I'm going to mix some gray color into here. It looks white for the moment. That's alright. We're gonna smear a bunch of colors. This is one of my favorite steps, because this is like actually painting. We're going to do a little bit of color theory, which I'm not particularly good at, but I enjoy. A meaningful distinction, I think. Thank you, Willem, for telling the name of the app. Incarnate. It's an online map maker. Yeah, see, there we go. I'm liking how those plains look now. You see, they're kind of brown, but they're kind of pasty as well. The Story Lab on Video App, you said map's looking cool. Well, thank you, my guy. I appreciate it. I'm glad you like it. Thanks for hanging out today. Jay, it's not necessarily a kid's book. I wrote it for adults. A lot of young adult readers and middle grade readers have had fun with it. Personally, I thought it was just funny. Apparently, I have the sense of humor of a 13-year-old, because the 13-year-olds are loving this book. It's fun for adults, too, though. I got a lot of adult readers as well. Oh, Toasty, you want to see the whole map? You got it, my guy. Let's center that in there. There we go. There's our full map. We zoom out for a minute. Fat Frog, thank you, man. Appreciate you being here. Appreciate your kind words. Noriri, last week we worked on the desert down here. We did all this down here. Let's see, I can use, there we go, this area. And then yesterday, Amelia's the red like Mordor. It is. You can see it better here. It is our knockoff Mordor, because the book satirizes a lot of fantasy. So of course there's a Dark Lord. Of course there's a volcano. Gotta have a little fun with it. But y'all, I showed this earlier. I'll show it again. I added a cool thing yesterday that I'm pretty proud of. We put in the points of interest. Each of those letters is a scene or an important scene in the book, book 1. And here's the main character's journey all the way through. So I guess minor spoilers if you know where they go. But I thought that was a cool addition. That was pretty fun. Fun to make. Also, love this region up in here. I love our little autumnal veil that we made a while ago. Don't have any use for it in the plot yet, but that's okay. We make cool places and then we take new stories there. How long have I been working on it? This is my 7th stream working on this map. I've interspersed it with smaller ones. Like we made this whole map in 3 streams just for fun, just as a side project to practice. Typically, I do maps more like this size, but I'll show you in a moment why it's taken so long. Here's the map size we typically work on. Now, if you remember that map, here it is. Like literally, this is a stamp of that map, and it lines up just like that. Almost there. There we go. And that was the last map I showed you. Look how small it is compared to this one. That's why it's taken so long in this map. But also, I don't know. I have fun with it. I enjoy taking our time with it and just, getting through. Yes, definitely got to add more things in the east. Big agree. We have not worked on the east like at all. Absolute Lumina, you said the audiobook sounds great, but I refuse to use Amazon on moral grounds. Is it available elsewhere? If you go to the links in my bio, Absolute, you can order it from my local bookstore. They're my retailer of signed copies, so you can order it through them. You can also order it through Brazos Bookstore if you want to put that in and go to their website. So yeah, those are your other options outside of the Big Zon. I think someone else asked something. Is this Incarnate? Yes, it is. And the name of the book is Wriggly Little Hands. It's about goblins on a quest and all the ways they mess it up. Oh, also, I'd seen someone said that they had a long journey. They did have a long journey. That's why they got a rocket wagon. Got to cover those miles, man. You got a road trip. All right, let's get back to the plains here. I had a cold flame coming out of this crater on the last map. So let's see if we can find a way to do that. I'm not seeing it. It's a different map, different asset pack, so I don't have all the same assets. So we'll find a way to make it work. I could probably grab... Oh, and we do need the dead trees. You're right. You're right, Penguin. We can grab our dead... Oh, we used a different dead tree stamp, though. So we'll put this one in for the moment. But we're going to see if there's a different dead tree. I'll switch over to this view so you can see the stamp options. Yeah, I think the one we have is going to be best, basically. This one's kind of nice, but it's got the little graveyard features that I don't really want on it. Yeah, it's not going to look good at scale. So we'll do these little dead trees here. MXTS, you said you're definitely going to read it when it comes out. Well, thank you, my guy. I appreciate that. And, hey. Uh-oh. Hold, please. There we go. I minimized every single window I had open. What I was trying to say is good news. The book's already out. You can get it through the links in my bio right now. Hope you enjoy. Okay, let's get these dead trees in here. They were just kind of scattered, if I recall. So we're just going to throw them out in here, and we'll fine-tune their placement. I feel like one right here would be nice and creepy to welcome you into this horrible, horrible, horrible plane. The plains of abandoned hope and paralyzing fear. It's a lovely place, as indicated by the name. Should we get really pedantic, y'all? Should we get really pedantic about it? Because we could grab the overlay and actually put the trees where the trees were on the old map. It's not important, but it would be kind of just a nice little through line. So there was one there. There was... Didn't mean to rotate it. There was one here. There was one here. Here. There. Wow, this guy was actually really close to where a tree already existed. And then it looks like there was one right on the edge of the water. I think that's all of our dead trees. Rock and roll. Zach over on Video App, welcome in, my friend. We are using Incarnate to make this. It is an online map maker, and I just put the name in chat for you. Lunar, does every land have a lore? Not every one so far. The book 1 mainly takes place, if you can see that big circle, it takes place in this segment here, kind of this area. So these have the most lore to them, but places like this, I just made with chat recently. So like there's no lore to this aside from what we made. Or like our little autumnal veil up in here. Again, no lore yet. So kind of a mixed bag, you know? All right, the plains. I needed that flame, but I don't. I gotta find a stamp. I gotta find a stamp to recreate that flame there. So we're gonna take a look at that. And while we do, Gisbert, or no, who said that? AK, you are correct. That island does look like Cyprus because it is basically Cyprus. My family's from there, so we put it into the map as an Easter egg. But it's a very obvious Easter egg. Alright, come on, give me some flame. This flame would work. But it's too bright. We'd have to like decolor it, desaturate it. We can give that an attempt. We can try to do that. It's gonna be a little bit tricky. Let's see. Because I need to it needs to be blue first of all. There's our blue. Now I need to desaturate and take a lot of the color away, because this map is a little bit less colorful than others have been in the past. It's all about the style of it. Yeah, see, I just don't think it's gonna blend in too well to the existing elements. Well, that's not terrible. Let's zoom out, see what we think. See how everything's kind of a similar color though? We're trying to keep it. We're not doing the full brightness of this. It's got more of a traditional like book feel. You like it, Meg? You like it like this? All right. Well, I mean, we can keep it. Let me see if I can find. I also need. I'm seeing on the plains. There's also these like crevasses, or just crevices, I guess, with the fire above it. Here, let's just copy paste it and see if we can make this work. Again, need to desaturate. I want to say desaturize. That's not a word. Might need to drop the opacity on it too. Now let's try these color changes. Hue is fine. Yeah, hue's fine. Brightness down a bit. Contrast down a bit. See, it's not the same stamp style. It doesn't look, the art's too different for it. We're gonna have to make it somehow else. Let's see what we can find in our catalog. Go to the Parchment World asset pack. That's what we're using. I need like, I mean, I've got craters, but the craters aren't quite right. No ravine. I know there's not going to be like crevice. I don't really know how to recreate this. I could use cliffs. Again, I could attempt to create it with cliffs, but that's going to just look really small and kind of weird. Who said that? Gisbert. This is Incarnate. Slightly different than World Anvil, but also similar. Oh, sorry guys, you can't see what I'm doing. I changed my view for me, but not for you. Yeah, I think we're just going to have to use the crater asset. So we'll do a few more craters. Let's go grab our overlay again, because I want to put these craters in the correct spots. There we go, nice and lined up. And we're going to need our crater. There's one here, nice and small. One here, a little bit bigger. One here. About that size. Okay. And we'll put our fire on top of them. I think what we said was we said that those blue flames are like cold flame that comes out of these cracks from deep underground. Again, didn't explain the lore, just kind of made it up with chat. But call it geysers of cold flame. Kind of creepy, but I'm a fan. We'll probably group these together so that they look more complete and can move together. I do need to vary the flame up a little bit. I just realized I used the same flame stamp 3 times. So let's change that up. There we go. I like that one. And we're going to change this one as well. Fire fan? Appropriate that you join as I'm putting all this fire on the map. Welcome in, my guy. You said, haven't seen you in a bit. How's your morning? It's going good. Coffee's okay. I didn't sweeten it quite correctly. It's a little bit bitter today. But yeah, no, going good. Happy to be here. Happy to be working on the map. I think it's coming out quite beautifully. How about you, my guy? How you doing? All right, let's go ahead and group those together. I don't like that this crater is a little bit low res. It can only get so small, essentially. Once it gets small, it starts to lose resolution. So there's not much I can do about that. And I do need those spikes that we had in the ground everywhere. Let's see if we can try to make those look natural in here. I think we need to, again, desaturate them. Av, you said you see Misty Mountains in the middle of the map? Kind of. I do love the Misty Mountains, but these are more inspired by the Andes in that you have this desert on one side, and it holds all the dry air gets held back against these mountains, and it traps moisture in here and creates like an Amazon rainforest type area. That was the vibe we were going for because I find the Andes really interesting. Next, what is the book about? And Jonas, what am I using to make this? I'm making this with Ink Carnet. It is an online map maker. Can't talk today. Zod Lord over on Video App. Hello, hello. And for those asking, here is the book, Wriggly Little Hands. It's a comedy fantasy about goblins on a quest to retrieve the Dark Lord's doomsday weapon, so they can help him defeat those pesky forces of good. But they're goblins. They're not good at staying on task, not setting things on fire, just being generally helpful. They're bad at all of that. So you know things are going to go off the rails. It's linked in my bio if you want to read it. Iron Grasshopper, we have not put any towns or anything in yet. That will be a fun day when we do that. Right now we're more on the geography side of things. Alright, we're going to desaturate this bad boy. Sorry, this one specifically. And see if we can make it feel like it belongs in here. The brightness was actually fine. I shouldn't have messed with that. Alright, and desaturate a little bit more. And maybe turn the opacity down just a smidge. And then we're going to make it small. And see if we can kind of get it on around this crater. I don't know if that's going to work, though. If it's going to look like it fits there, you know? Oh, Alej, you wanted to see all of the map? Here you go. There's our full map as it stands now. Millie, hello. Welcome in. Good to see ya. You mentioned the book idea last stream. It's a fun title. Hope you're doing well. How's your Friday going? The crystal should match the smoke color. Not necessarily. Here's where the original we did was. So you can see they're different color there. The problem is this crystal asset is not. It's from a different map pack than this one, so they don't. The art style is different, so I don't think it's ever going to look that good in there. It's a mixing of styles, but we can give it a little try. Chip, that is Cyprus in the corner. My family's from Cyprus. We had put it in as an Easter egg, but it was too obvious, so we said, you know what? We're just full on putting Cyprus in this world. So now, canonically, Cyprus exists in this world. And honestly, I'm quite excited about that. If you use the cliffs on the edge of the craters, it would give more cracked earth look. Yeah, it probably would, Katie. I actually did that a little bit for this crater. It's just I can't really, this map is a lot smaller than the new one I'm working on, so I can't really get down to that level of fidelity. It's going to get blurry looking. Because, it's meant to be viewed from like that. That's the zoom we're meant to see it at. So you're not going to really see that detail too much. And if I zoom that much, it gets just really blurry. So we just need broad strokes, to fit in, be similar. Somehow Cyprus returned. I kind of like the spikes, though. They're growing on me a little bit. I'm going to leave them there and see if they continue to grow on me. So we'll drop a few more in there, following the template here. And then I'm going to let them sit for a minute while we work on something else. That's a good way to see if you like it or not, There's roughly our template. Fire fan, did you mean to say scale is important or scale is impotent? Because both work. One is funnier than the other though. Alright, there's our spikes. We can put some there. We had another pile of them right there. Right here. Right here. I think they kind of are Actually, I'm kind of liking them, y'all. I'm kind of liking the spikes. Let's get rid of this template. The other map is not from a different era. It's just the original map that we made. So, we started making a region map, as I called it, and now we're on to a world map. So I'm just expanding the original map into this whole big world. Olej, what do you think I should put in from Poland? Give me a suggestion. I'm not too familiar with Poland's geography aside from largely, European plain. So what should I put? What should I put in there? I mean, plains and forest, I assume there's probably mountains in there somewhere. Well, it's like a defining characteristic, What's something that people would know? Thank you for the follows, by the way. I appreciate y'all. Alright. We need to do... This little region is the end of the plains, and it actually was part of the Dark Lord's domain, so it needs to be red. So let's get a little bit of red going in here. And in fact, I'm going to put the overlay on again. So we can see where the border of it is. It's a little region called Turn Back Territory. Your last opportunity to not cross the essentially trespassers will be prosecuted sign for the Dark Lord on his territory. So we're just going to paint this in, and then we'll brown up the edges. That was just my reminder to myself. Christian, thank you, man. I'm glad you like it. Here's the full map for you for a moment. We're using Incarnate to make this. It's an online map maker. It's pretty cool. Gives a desolate dunes kind of vibe. Yeah, I could see that. It's kind of what we're going for. Alright, let's make this red a little brighter. We're going to paint this in. Oh, that's a little too bright now. I appreciate the follows, y'all. You're too kind. Thank you very much. There we go. All right, so now we're going to mix. I believe we had mixed a light orange into it for the Dark Lord's territory, and then we're going to go over it and kind of smear it all together with a brown. Let's grab that brown. And we're going to turn up the opacity so it's a little bit stronger. That's not the correct brown. It was a darker brown. It's like this one. Maybe turn down the opacity actually, because it's not smearing so much as it is just covering up. So hold on, we're going to turn down the opacity and then mix it in. There we go. That's kind of the color we're looking for. Maybe a little bit of red on top of it as well. I don't think I put too much effort into the red of the Dark Lord's territory last time, so we'll give it a quick little pass here just to kind of smooth these colors out together. There we go. I like it. It works as a stand-in for now. Musako, you said if you considered an area where there might be some horses. Yeah, sure. I'm a big fan of horses, nomadic horse tribes. We got a lot on the right side of the map that we haven't worked on yet, especially down here and up here. This could be good areas for some like big plains. Oh, Sky, you read the book on Tuesday? Thank you. So you were the Kindle Unlimited page reads I saw coming in, I suspect, huh? I was watching my dashboard. I'm like, holy cow, someone is tearing through this book right now. Thank you, Sky. I'm glad you enjoyed it, man. I appreciate that. Thank you so much for giving it a read. Please do leave a review if you can. Helps out a lot. But I'm so glad you enjoyed it. Who is your favorite character? Let's see. I need to get a little bit more of a dark color here. So I want to darken up this red. Because Turnback territory on the original map, this area was not fully the same color as the Dark Lord's domain. Bit of a mix. Because it is its own unique little region. It just happens to be overshadowed by the absolutely massive, oppressive presence of the Dark Lord next door. Glossed, the book name, is right here. Here's the cover and everything. Wriggly Little Hands. It's a comedy fantasy about goblins on a quest to retrieve the Dark Lord's doomsday weapon, and all the ways they mess that up and get him into more trouble than he was already in by being completely incompetent at their jobs and easily distracted. It's linked in my bio if you want to read it. It's also an audiobook or ebook paperback, basically any format you want. The links are in my bio. I'd appreciate it if you'd give it a read. Nint, the program we're using is called Incarnate. It is an online map maker. Alright, let me position these mountains a little bit better, because I just slapped these on down here. We didn't really consider their placement. But I guess they're kind of good. I guess we did a good job, y'all. Look at that. Proud of us. So I think the plains are kind of done. Honestly, I'd say that region's built out, at least, for the overview. Lynn, is there some sort of village? Yeah, there's plenty of villages and stuff. We just haven't put them in yet. Villages, cities, kingdoms. We're just doing the geography side of things right now. What was it? King Blood, what is the app? It's called Incarnate. And it is an online map maker. Okay, Olej, I see you gave me Morski Oko and Risi. I'm sure I pronounced those horribly, but thank you, my man. I will take note of those. Hold, please. Morski Oko and Risi. All right, I will look at those after stream and see what we can do. All right, so there. All right, guys, I got a question for you. what do we want to do with this impact crater? So the lore around this, for those that are just joining, this used to be land, and the ocean used to stop right here. And then there was a wizard doing experiments. Things went bad, and there was a big kaboom. And he blew up this entire area on accident, including himself, and the water flooded in, creating more ocean. What do we want the climate and geography around there to look like? Olej, thank you for the gifts, my guy. I appreciate it. Is it Olej or Oleg? How should I say that? But thank you. I appreciate you, man. We have a tradition around here. If you give a gift, you get a gift. So, you give a gift, you get a gift. These are for you, my guy. Your own goblins to take home with you. Hey, hide everything in your house that's flammable, as well as the snacks. I apologize, but they're menaces. They're cute, but they're menaces. Alright, so I'm getting some suggestions for what to put around here. Ricardio, the program is Incarnate. Sky, you said the book has the feel somewhere between Discworld and How to Become the Dark Lord and Die Trying. Thank you. I appreciate that. That is very flattering. I'm so glad you enjoyed it. Thank you very much. And hey, look out for the sequel. I'm writing it now. Smoldering ash for around here. So I think that the explosion happened in the past. So there's been time for stuff to regrow and whatnot. Munda, you said, where can you read the book? Well, here it is. It's linked in my bio. You can purchase it on Amazon, Audible, from my local bookstore. All that's linked in my bio. You can also go, if you went to like barnesandnoble.com and typed it in, you could order it. So pretty much anywhere you get books. Please give it a try if you want. The app is Incarnate, for those asking. You like how the goblins kind of look like rabbits? Shout out to my cover artist, Ivan Shavrin, for his bringing the goblins to life. He did a wonderful job with that. Here, we can show a bit more of his art. I can't talk today, y'all. I don't know what's going on with me. Let's go to this scene here, and then here is the prequel to this book, A Wriggly Little Assistant. This is available for free if you join my newsletter or my Discord, also linked in my bio. Or, if you really want, you could pay 99 cents and get it on Amazon. So, Sky, if you want to read a bit more in this world, feel free to use the links to join my newsletter or my Discord, and you'll get another story in the world of Wriggly Little Hands for free. Back to the map. Oh, Sky, you liked the www joke, the World Wide Web. I'm glad you caught that. No, the prequel wasn't particularly hard to write, Munda. It was, I enjoyed it a lot. It was a fun little adventure. Olej, I had asked how to say your name. Is it Olej or Oleg? Zach on Video App, you think the cover is awesome? Thank you, my man. I appreciate you. What do we do with the crater, y'all? There were some good suggestions. I guess, so here's something we should consider with this. Let's look at the full map for a minute. For those asking, we're using Incarnate to make this. It is an online map maker. If we look at the full map, let me grab a cursor you can see easily. There we go. Up here, this is a cold belt, right? This is like getting towards the deep north. A little bit lower, you're going to have like kind of autumnal weather. And then down here, you're going to get temperate. And then there's some ocean currents at play here, as well as all this humidity getting trapped in the mountains that creates this rainforest area. And on the other side of the tall mountains, the desert. So climate-wise, it's pretty temperate around this crater. So I guess that kind of frees us to do whatever we want with it, right? Oh, that's a cool idea, Sky. The edges of the crater should be glassified. I don't know how we would represent that, but you know what could be cool? We do have these spikes, right? We could use these spikes somehow on the edges to show that. There's also, here, let me just grab some assets and throw them in here, and then we'll see what we want to do. Where is it? I know there's a specific mountain that I want. Haha, there you are. Alright, so this is a different, like, asset class of mountains. It's got different art for it. That's not what I meant to do. See how they're kind of like, as opposed to the normal mountains, which would be more straight up and down, these are very like shards, right? That could be cool to put around the outside of it to kind of show the blast outside. Nikolai, we are using Incarnate. You're right. Meg, I love that mountain. I do love this mountain. I try to find places to use it all the time. So let's see. Let's put a few of these in with the spikes as well. Maybe we can make it look like there was a big blast here. The trick is going to be to line the mountains up such that it looks like they are leaning away from the blast site. I guess, you know, I did kind of already do this trick right here, didn't I? Oh, maybe I don't know if I want to repeat it. Okay. So would I pronounce it oil then? Like, is that how I would say it in English? Oil? I can do that. I did already kind of use this little trick that we're talking about. Maybe we don't do it again. Is that Erebor? Where is it, Erebor? No lonely mountains here. Though I do love Tolkien. Messages from the stars said I should add a blank spot, like a dangerous area that no one's explored before. Let me present to you the Barrows of Blissful Bewilderment right here. That's what all this fog is. You can see it better on the original map. Right in here. That is a foggy, hilly, forested region where only the hilltops rise above the fog. And when you're in the fog, it scrambles your thoughts. You forget why you were there. You forget where you were going. And it forces you just kind of wander aimlessly until you reach a hilltop and you're above the fog. You can think clearly again and everything comes back to you. But to get out, you got to go back down through the fog. Very creepy little area Chat and I created. For those asking about the book, here you go. Oh, that's the wrong one. That's all my books. This is the one specifically, Wriggly Little Hands. It's a comedy fantasy about goblins on a quest to retrieve the Dark Lord's doomsday weapon so they can help him defeat those pesky forces of good. But they're goblins. They mess it up. They get distracted. It's not going to go to plan. And it's linked in my bio. If you want to read it or listen to it or read it as an ebook or a paperback, it's all there in the bio. So please do give it a look. And then someone else had asked, where was it? GB, you asked if you can use Incarnate to build like cities and stuff. Well, let me pull up a map for you that we made. You absolutely can. Nikolai, you think the map's absolutely gorgeous? Thank you, my man. I appreciate that. Yes, GB, you can certainly make cities in Incarnate. This was my first map I made, and I don't know why I went this nitty-gritty on it. But yeah, you can make cities down to the street level, dude. I love it. Incarnate's a wonderful map. We just went all in on this. This is a setting for a future book that I have pitched to a publisher right now. But I made the map mainly for fun. So yes, it works very good for cities. App is Incarnate, or website is Incarnate. Nathan, what's up, buddy? Welcome in. You said, what if instead of blasted mountains, you make floating ones like Pandora? Yeah, that's a cool idea. I would like to play with that, but I don't have any experience with it. I'd like to practice a little bit before I throw them in on the map. There are some pretty cool flying mountain assets you could use. Oh, this could be cool to put that like right in there and kind of do... Yeah, I'm sorry. I know I've done this trick already on this map. I like this too much to not recreate it. Yeah, Firefan, it's a shame that Incarnate is subscription-based. They have a free plan. I know they just changed their pricing. So I'm not sure what the free if the free plan still is as good as it was. But they did have a free plan when I started. That was pretty nice. Now it is subscription based. They improved it massively, which is why they put the subscription in. Ooh, I like these mountains on these little islands. These little teeny tiny mountains. Maybe we do kind of like that right there. Little pointy guy right there. Yeah, this is going to look good, y'all. I'm a fan of this. For those just joining, the lore for this is this was a wizard experiment gone wrong, and they accidentally turned themselves into a crater, and the ocean flowed in. It used to stop right there. So we're making like a big blast site here, basically. I kind of love this, though. This is looking fun. I want to rotate this a little bit, though. You know, it's got to be around the epicenter of the blast. It points outward from that. Crazy terrain. You didn't like the free plan, Sam? I'm sorry to hear that. I am on Incarnate Pro here. They grandfathered anybody that was subscribed. When they changed their pricing model, they grandfathered anybody in, so I'm paying $25 a year for the subscription, so I'm not too mad about that. I treat this like a video game. I've put hundreds of hours into it, so $25 for hundreds of hours of entertainment, that works out for me. I'm putting this mountain over here to make sure it's scaled correctly. So 112% scale. Is what these are at, so that's pretty appropriate. We're good with that. Is the lake named after the wizard? RIP, says Ronnie. I don't think it is, but that doesn't mean that it doesn't mean that it can't be. I haven't named it yet, so it certainly can be named after our poor wizard friend who reached for the sun. Someone asked where you can find the audiobook. So it's on Audible. It's also linked in my bio. So if you just go to my bio, you can find the link for it there. Oh, didn't mean to do that. Let's add that back in. There we go. This is kind of what I wanted. Yeah, I'm loving this. The program's called Incarnate, for those asking. And thank you for the follows, by the way, folks. I appreciate you. If you don't know, I am author Alex Knight. I stream Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 7 a.m. Central. On Mondays, we do Q&A, where you can ask me anything you want about writing, books, publishing, all that fun stuff. Wednesdays are kind of a wild card. And then Fridays, we make fantasy maps. That being said, I'm always happy to talk books, publishing, all that good stuff. So if you ever have a question about being an author, the publishing industry, all that fun stuff, please ask away. I'm always happy to talk about it. This guy's a little bit big. Maybe a different one. Sky, you're going to read Wriggly Little Hands? You're going to read the book to your kids? Thank you. That's amazing. I have several readers that have done that, and I like I said, I didn't set out to write a book that was anything more than young adult friendly, perhaps. But I don't know, man. The kids have been loving it. So I think if anything, I've learned that apparently I have the sense of humor of a 13-year-old. Because I was like, yeah, this is totally an adult fantasy book, and now I have middle school kids being like, it's the funniest thing I've ever read, which is flattering, but also. Perhaps I'm not as mature in my humor as I thought I was. Nowhere, you said you didn't realize Incarnate could be so precise and detailed. Yeah, it's really just, about taking your time with it, I guess. Having fun. I don't know. I was really bad at maps, but I've just done them for a long time for fun. Jen, you said just got here. What's the book name? One moment. I need to prove to TikTok that I'm not idle. There we go. Puzzle completed. Here is the book name for you, Jen. It's Wriggly Little Hands. It's a comedy fantasy about goblins on a quest to retrieve the Dark Lord's doomsday weapon, and all the ways they messed that up. They're goblins. Don't trust them with important stuff. Look at these guys. Alright, let's get this crater going. Need to find more mountains to go around the sides. I really like how this is looking, though. This is going to be a cool sense of depth to it. We're going to need to do the... This is going to be an optical illusion, though, right? Because we need the mountains to look as if they are surrounding a blast. And that's like, you can't just put them down here. You can't put them downwards, right? You're looking at this from above. Pessy, the book is already written. It's linked in my bio. If you want to get it as an audiobook, an ebook, paperback, whatever, here's the cover for you. But just click into my bio. It is there. It's live. It's available pretty much anywhere you want. Sky, you liked the genie? He was a fun character to write. The voice actor absolutely rocked the genie's voice. Someone else asked, is the book already written? Yes, Pessy, the book is written and released. And the cover art was done by Ivan Shavrin. Shout out to my cover artist, man. He's incredible. I love working with him. I'm using ink Carnet to make the map. Alright, let's find... I need another big mountain stamp here. Yeah, that'll do. That'll do. Let's horizontally flip it. Let's size it up a little bit. I'm going to move this guy. Actually, this one would work better down here. I'm going to go like this. Put it like right there-ish. Kind of like that, maybe? I don't know. Maybe it doesn't quite look right. I kind of want to make it merge with the shoreline nicely. Bay, you said what program are you using? We're using ink Carnet to make it. Amunke, you say flip it. You think it'll look better? If I flip it, it's got to go on the other side, which is okay. But I was trying to get this side locked in right now. Get off my lawn, guy. Welcome in, buddy. Good to see you. How you been? Wolfie, you said is this noob friendly, the map maker? I mean, yeah, sure. You don't have to make a map this detailed. I mean, hey, guys, you want to see something? You want to see something ugly? Here's my map right now. The first map that I ever made in here. You got to start somewhere, right? Here's the first map I ever made. First time I ever touched ink Carnet, which for everybody asking, that's what we're using. inkcarnet.com. Zach, you said you'd put a little fishing boat in or a dolphin? Yeah, man, we can get that in there. Here you go. Here's my first ever attempt at a fantasy map. Look, you got to start somewhere, right? So is ink Carnet friendly to noobs? Yeah, totally, man. This is where I started. And I think we went from this. Here's the second one that I made. A little bit of jump and improvement. And now we're making this one. Al, there are a couple other styles outside of medieval. It is more centered on medieval, though. It's kind of like a D&D focused map maker. They have a sci-fi pack. It's just not as robust as this, as the medieval assets are. You know what? I think this one's going to look better lower down. Ooh, yeah, that could look really good down here-ish. Maybe not. I think it kind of ruins the illusion. All right, here's what we're going to do. I don't like these mountains when they're down low, so we're going to put them up top and around the sides. We're not going to do the bottom, and I think that'll be enough to create the effect that we're looking for. Bro definitely made Earth's map in a past life. Barry, have you read Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy? There's a company in it in like book 4 or 5 that makes planets, and there's like a certain character who wins an award for his work on like the Norwegian fjords. I feel like that's the vibe we're going for. For those just joining in, thanks for hopping in stream with me. Here's the full map in case you haven't seen it. We're just working on this little crater up here in the north. Career Ender, yeah, we do have lore for this, specifically because this map is for my book, Wriggly Little Hands, which is out now if you want to read it. It's linked in my bio as an ebook, an audiobook, a paperback, and if you'd like to read a silly adventure about goblins on a quest to retrieve a doomsday weapon and just mess up everything in the process, check it out. You might enjoy it. You're getting World of Warcraft map vibes? Hey, I'll take that. I'll take that all day. Love that map. PZH, what is Cyprus doing there? So my family's from Cyprus, and I had put a Cyprus Easter egg into the map. And it was a much rougher, didn't look exactly like Cyprus, and everybody was like, it's Cyprus! So my Easter egg was way too unsubtle. So we just said, you know what? Cyprus now exists in this world, and I am just full-on putting Cyprus in there, which means canonically I can put Halloumi in there, and I'm very excited about this. I keep moving this mountain as if I'm going to be satisfied with the new placement, and I never am. So I don't think that one works there. I really like this one, but I've already used it right there, so I don't want to, recreate the same, reuse the same stamp too much. I really can't talk today, y'all. I don't know what's up with me. I used all my talking points this week. I'm finessing the heck out of this, but you know what's going to make this work better? I am hesitant to change the shape of this water because I like it so much, but if I moved it to follow the mountains that I place around it, it's going to look like they're more a part of it, you know? I really liked how the shoreline was sculpted. Yeah, see, I don't like any of that. Let's go ahead and put that back. Yeah, Eddie, I'm thinking about an island in the middle of it, but theoretically, this was an explosion that created this. So I feel like anything at the center of it was just absolutely obliterated. This is a massive explosive crater because a wizard experiment went very wrong. It's interesting. I like the mountain perspective here. I think on these little islands they look really good, but I'm not loving them on the right side. Dave said, "How am I doing this?" Ink Carnet. It's a lovely online map maker, and other than that, just a lot of time on stream, vibing to the music, and just putting down some elements. Ikron, this is on the Parchment Fantasy World map pack. Let me double check that. Parchment World pack. That's what it's called. Otto, you said, what is the book about / what's it's called? Here's the book, Wriggly Little Hands. It's a comedy fantasy, kind of like Terry Pratchett-esque, following a family of goblins on their quest to retrieve the Dark Lord's doomsday weapon and bumble it and mess up everything in the process. Because look, guys, they're goblins. Don't give them important tasks. Bad idea. It is a novel. It's linked in my bio, and you can get it as an audiobook, an ebook, a paperback, etc. Pretty much wherever you buy books. I'd appreciate it if you'd give it a try. Antenna, you want to see some other map packs? So here's one map that I made in the past. This is the Fantasy World map pack. You'll notice it's a little more brighter, a little more cartoony. The main difference is, like, here, let me zoom in on these trees. See how these trees are kind of painted in and like realized? If you go to the Parchment World pack, and you look at trees on it, see they're just kind of shape of trees, right? As opposed to the actual detailed art. So that's really the difference. This is a more vibrant, kind of cartoony style for the Fantasy World pack. The Parchment World looks a bit more appropriate for like the front of a book, which is what I was going for. You could also do city level. This was watercolor cities is the odd pack, or is the map pack. And this, you can see it's more vibrant, and it's more about like being able to place buildings and making streets and stuff. So that's more like a battle map type feature, etc. And there's a bunch of other packs here. If I go to display capture, go into here, you can see these are all of the available asset packs. You get Battle Maps Classic, Fantasy Battle Maps, Fantasy Regional, Fantasy World, Parchment World, Sci-Fi Battle Maps, Watercolor Battle Maps, Watercolor Cities. And actually, I believe this is the old version of Incarnate. If I go to the new version here, 2.0, there are more asset packs that are accessible. Because they just did a big update. Get off my lawn guy, you said on the Discord, is it frowned upon to dump an entire story, like 90,000 words? I mean, you can do that, just link to it. Don't paste, 90,000 words into the chat, but if you want to link to it, for sure. I can't promise anybody will read them all, but you're more than welcome to share and get some opinions. Toby, you said, do I write only comedy books or adult-targeted books as well? This one is it's totally fine for adults. It's just a goofy book, It's funny, but it's still got a lot of adult readers that like it. But if you want something darker or heavier, I got this one. Servant of Rage is like Dragon Ball Z inspired. It's very, very cinematic fight scenes, very dramatic, darker book. And I'm signed on to write book 2 and 3 in that series this year, so those will be coming up soon. Or if you like Jurassic Park, I have The Far Wild, which is my love letter to Jurassic Park, basically. But the book this map is for is right here, Wriggly Little Hands. Feel free to check any of them if you want. Popple, you said clean Asmongold. Well, my friend, you know what that means. The Asmongold counter climbs again. 88 references. Welcome in, my guy. Thank you for helping the counter go up. I do get that a lot. So it goes. When I had hair, people said I looked like Andrew Luck, which was a bit more flattering of a comparison, but hey, we take what we can get, huh? Hey, Cam. Or JJ, is the Asmongold counter good or bad? Yeah, it is what it is. I find it fun to track it. It's pretty funny to me. Look, I'll take the Asmongold references instead of the Andrew Tate references. Don't appreciate those as much. Oh God, see, Elvin just said it. But Cam, you said you read Wriggly Little Hands and you absolutely loved it, and you got your girlfriend reading it now. Man, you know what? Just for that, thank you for telling me, and just for that, a goblin for you. You know what? And actually, one for your girlfriend. Here, these two are for you. I hope you enjoy. Hide every snack and or flammable object in your house. Trust me on that. They will find them. They will get into them. But thank you. I'm so glad you enjoyed it, my guy. That's amazing. Thank you for having your girlfriend read it as well. I hope she also enjoys. Asmongold embracing his inner Bruce Willis. Oh, that's great. That's pretty funny. Firefan, you said, what's the Paragon book about? Let's see. We can go back to it. You're asking about this one? So this one is, anything on the bottom row is Lit RPG, and I co-wrote Paragon. It's a 5-book series. I co-wrote it with my buddy Luke Chimlenko. So if you're into the system apocalypse, progression fantasy type world, Paragon is our entry into that genre. Books 1 through 3 are out now. Book 4 is out in March. Book 5 will be out probably later in 26. Not entirely sure when. We're waiting on the publisher to do the audio recording for it. Luke, yeah, there will be cities on here. We're going to do them icon-based, though, so they'll be like this. You know, like, here's an example of how we're going to do it. Just an icon and a little bit of terrain around it. But right now we're doing geography for the map. So we're still on the geography side of things. The cities are one of the last things that we put on here. RG, you said, where do I buy the book? It's linked in my bio. You can buy it pretty much anywhere books are sold, though. Bezos' website, Audible, barnesandnoble.com. You can order it from there. It's also, you can order from my local bookstore if you want. It's in my 2 local stores here in town. And I do sell signed copies there. So if you want signed copies, you could get a signed paperback from them. That's also linked in my bio. All right, let's get these mountains placed in here. I think this one's more vertical. So we're going to put you like this, and then we're going to flip you horizontal and make it a little more vertical. Move this random spike that's just laying around. Don't step on that. I feel like a child leaving their Legos around. All right, kind of like this. And now I need a really big mountain to go right in the center there to kind of cap this crown. Jacob, we're using Incarnate to make this. There you go. It is a online map maker. Toby, you said, have I thought about writing dark fantasy medieval? Well, my friend, I have. That is actually my other ongoing series. Servant of Rage is Mongolian inspired, mixed with like Highlander and Dragon Ball Z. It's definitely darker fantasy. Big fight scenes, a lot of action, if you can't tell from the cover. Feel free to check it out if that's what you're into. Like I said, I'm writing the sequels to that book this year as soon as I finish the sequel to Wriggly Little Hands. All right, we need a good mountain here. Nice and upside down. Let's rotate that. I don't think this is going to be the mountain. It's not big enough. It's not quite what I'm looking for, but something like that. You know what? Let's go grab an existing mountain so we can just look at them all. Thank you for the follows, y'all. I appreciate you. Harlequin, can you make world maps you can zoom in, like on Google Maps? I mean, kind of. So, like, I can zoom out to like this, and you can make this canvas as big as you want, and then I can zoom in all the way down, you know, to like this level. So it's not, you know, fully Google Maps, but it's close, you know. All right, we need a big, mean-looking mountain to cap this crown. Oh, you know what? Let's get some cliffs, too. I think some cliffs around this edge could actually make that crater look even better. But I wanted a big mountain to cap it off. Something like this guy. Let's give this guy a try. Kind of like that. And let's make it... Yeah, that looks pretty good, right? I'm kind of a fan of this. And then here's what I'm thinking, y'all. If you hang out here, you know that I overuse cliffs way too much. Like, look, we made this plateau using clever placement of cliffs. And we made this canyon using clever placement of cliffs. Oh, look, more cliffs. So yes, I fully overuse cliffs. I'm aware of this. And now we're going to do it again. Let's get some more cliffs in here. Let's see where we want to put these bad boys. I don't want to mess with those mountains. But we could probably get it around like in here. Oh, that could look good. Hold on. Put it like this. Oh yeah, I'm going to love this. I'm already here for it. If you want to know if it's a map made by Alex Knight, just count the number of cliffs. If it exceeds an entirely logical amount, certainly I have made that map. That's all I'll say. All right, let's flip this horizontal, then turn it like this. Nah, that's not going to work. We'll get a better one. There's plenty of cliffs to use. For those asking about the software, we're using incarnate.com to make this. It's an online map maker. Please go check it out. It's a lot of fun. All right, we need a cliff for the right side, the left side. I promise I do know left from right. So let's take a look at these. If I could spell cliff. Go to my assets, go to catalog, expand this out. I'll go to this view so y'all can see what I'm looking at. Here's all the cliff options, 24 different ones. This could do it. This could be our winner. This one too. So let's grab both of those. We're going to plop that down. Back to the catalog. Grab that one. I saw another one that I want. This will work for the bottom edge. This will... right side. Maybe this one. Oh, sorry, my TikTok chat is blocking it. There we go. All right, now those look insane because I've just plopped them down. They need to be rotated. So we're going to do that. We're going to rotate them so they make a bit more sense. There we go. For those asking about the book, oh, you know what? Sorry, bad view. You can't really see the map. There we go. For those asking about the book, right here, Wriggly Little Hands. It's a comedy fantasy about goblins on a road trip to retrieve the Dark Lord's doomsday weapon because they want to help him defeat those pesky forces of good. But they're goblins, y'all. They're goblins. They're going to mess it up. They get distracted. They set things on fire. They go on side quests. It's good fun. If you're interested in it, the link is in my bio. You can get it pretty much anywhere books are sold. Also as an audiobook, ebook, and paperback. I would appreciate it, and I hope you enjoy. All right, so this was going to be on the right side of the crater, kind of like here-ish. Sorry, let me center this so you can see what I'm looking at. Kind of like that, maybe. This, I think, was a left side I was trying to use it for. Yeah, see that could look good there. Maybe not. Not loving it. I think we were using this for the bottom. Size it down a little bit. We'll put it like right here. And I'm going to cut out the land so that it fits that cliff edge a little bit more. Assuming I can use my mouse. There we go. I like it. I like it. But I still kind of need some more. Asmongold mentioned. Alright. I didn't see this one, but that still counts. Up goes the counter. Oh, I messed it up. There we go. 89. I have my scenes set to my number key bindings, so when I change this counter, sometimes it changes my scene, which I'm not trying to do. But 89 on the Asmongold counter. We're approaching 100. Ty, inkcarnate.com is the website we're using to make this. And I just want to highlight that comment, man. That's sick. Ty said, I work with kids and I had them do a D&D/world building project for enrichment. What website/software is this? So this is made with Inkcarnate. And that sounds like an awesome project, dude. Look, D&D is just collaborative storytelling. It's like writing a book with your friends in real time. It's improv storytelling. It's a ton of fun. I love people doing it. It's a continuation of the oldest human tradition of telling stories, right? Absolutely love it, man. Anxious, you said you're using Inkcarnate for your map and it's driving you a little insane. What's going on? Maybe we can help. Let me know where the struggles are. All right, let's get some cliffside here. I really want to find a couple more edge pieces. That one's not going to work. He's leaning forward in his chair. You know he's really working now. That's an outward bend. I need an inward bend for this lake. I need like one good piece for the bottom left. This guy could do it. I believe in it. This little cliff right here, this is the one to do it. Yeah, maybe. That might be it, y'all. That might be it. Lottie, you said, is the purple area something special ecosystem-wise? My guy, you are very correct. I will go show you that in a moment. Let me just finish sizing this cliff correctly. I think I kind of like it there. I'm not certain. It kind of works. Well, we'll leave it for now. The purple area, this is a chat-created area. It is called the Fungal Jungle, and I will show you what it looks like. So right here, oh, not meaning to stretch it, meaning to drag it. This little transparent stamp, notice how it fits over the map? This is, a big thing is our world map. This is our region map, and we actually made that a while ago, right here. So here it is, super detailed. And that purple area is right here. Here's our fungal jungle. Chat wanted me to make this. So we have this jungle full of like mists of like spores and toxic pollen from the mushrooms. And it's a whole jungle made out of fungus and mushrooms and all that fun stuff. So that's why there's that purple area on the map. I painted it purple, and we'll finish putting that in there. But for now, it's just purple to remind me that's where it goes. Olivin, we've been working on this map. This is my 7th stream working on this one. So yeah, we've been working on it for a little while. It's taken a minute, but that's all right. I enjoy it. I enjoy the work on this. Also, it's this. Oh yeah, let me show you. We got a lot of people here, so I'll show you this because y'all didn't see it earlier. So like I said, it is for this book right here, which is out now. If you like silly comedy, fantasy adventures about goblins getting into trouble, check it out. Linked in bio. But I am writing book 2 in that series now. But something I did recently, and I want to show y'all, I put in the route of the main characters from book 1. So you can see here, this is all the places they visit canonically in the story. And you can see their whole journey goes all the way down here. And the reason I did this is I'm now making the world map for future books in this series. I need more locations, right? So I wanted to make sure that the places from book 1 were actually there. So you can see our goblin's little journey. They go to a lot of places. They get distracted easily. Vincent, the app is Incarnate. I'll put the name in chat for you in a moment. Here we go. It is an online map maker. There it is. All right, we were up here working on our cliffs, our explosive crater because Wizard did an oopsie. Look, no pain, no gain, or in this case, no obliteration, no observation, discoveration. I don't know. Someone give me a good rhyme there. There's a better wordsmith in here than me, I'm sure of it. Court Meme, good to see you again. I remember that name. How you been? Having a good time, I hope. Up to no good as per usual. Anxious Insomniac, you said is this the first book you've published, or do you have others? No, I have been working as a professional author since 2018, so got a fair few books out there. All of them are linked in bio. These are the book 1s for different series that I've written. But yeah, I am very lucky to presently make enough money to be able to write full-time. Can't promise it'll stay that way. It's always iffy year to year. We've had good years, we've had bad years. But yeah, no, I've written a fair few books. So if any of them look interesting to you, you can check them out in my bio. What did I do before authoring? Before I could write under my own name, I actually ghost wrote for publishers. So I wrote romance, sci-fi, and a couple health books for publishers, just under whatever pseudonym they wanted to use. And then before that, I did freelance writing for various companies. So I just kind of used all those connections to segue myself into like, hey, I do freelance writing for companies. Maybe this publisher needs a ghost-written book. And I did that long enough that the publishers kind of learned who I was. And I was like, maybe I can write my own books. And we've been doing that since. How many pages does the book have? I think Wrigley is 300 pages maybe. It's a shorter fantasy book, so probably actually around like 250 pages. And someone else asked, what's my favorite of my books? Or did you say, what's my favorite book? Let me go back to the question. Which one is your favorite book? So you're probably talking about mine. I have no favorite children. I love all of my books equally. They are all great, and I would never pick a favorite from among them. Never pick a favorite. There you go. Dan Garner, they are all on audio. I'm very lucky to be able to say that I have audiobooks for all of them. And Wriggly Little Hands particularly was done by Sound Booth Theater, who worked some amazing magic with... I don't mean to do that. With the audiobook. I can't believe how good of a job they did. Alright, we just got to finish up these cliffs around in here. I'm struggling on this edge right here and the bottom on how to exactly get those cliffs in there. We're using ink Carnet to make this. Court meme! You found out you and your fiance are expecting your first baby. Congratulations! Rock and roll, man. That's awesome. I'm happy for y'all. You guys, hey, since I've started streaming, there have been 3 children born to people that follow me that we've talked about on stream, so on track for the 4th, I guess. I got to keep it going for another 9 months, huh? Honest, this Incarnate has a free tier. It has less assets in it, but I'm on the pro tier here for stream. But it's not a bad price tag if you want the pro tier. Rageu, you said what headphones? I used to get this question a lot, so where is it? I had it noted at one point, but I guess I got rid of it. The headphones are just it's just the newest Sennheiser, essentially. Pretty basic headset. Where do the dwarves live? So here's a crazy thing, y'all. Yes, I have played D&D. I am a D&D fan for sure. I haven't put any dwarves in this world yet, and I need to. They weren't any in book 1. There weren't any in book 1. They definitely exist. I just haven't put them in anywhere. So that's something to think about as we work on regions. We need to get, an Erebor in here, a Khazad-dûm. We're making this with Incarnate, online map maker. Y'all, how do we finish out the bottom of this crater here? The bottom edges are a little bit tough. I'm not sure. We don't have the perspective of a mountain. So these mountains, right, they're up like this, right? We don't have the perspective of one that's pointed back at us. So I don't know how to create that perspective. Someone asked if the clouds are covering a spoiler. The clouds are covering an area called the Barrows of Blissful Bewilderment. This supernatural fog that inhabits it, it scrambles your mind, ruins your memories. You can't focus on why you're there. So if you wander into it, you get trapped and wander around for a long time. You can see a better view of it right here on the more detailed map we made, the more zoomed in one. And so the way it works is there's this eternally burning flame in there on a tower, and it lures people in, and then when you get into the fog it confuses you and you get trapped, and eventually you wander up to these hilltops and you get above the fog, and when you're above the fog you can think clearly again, and then you can see that all around you is more fog and you have to go back into it to try to find your way out. It's a nasty little malevolent land in the world, so that is why it's covered in all these clouds. For those asking if the book is out, it is. Yeah, here it is. It's linked in my bio as an audiobook, an ebook, a paperback, any format you want. You can check it out. If you do, I hope you enjoy it. And as I said earlier, y'all, I am a professional author, part-time streamer. I don't make much money from streaming, but the books, if you want to support me, it's the best way to do that. So please give them a look. Where was this? There was a comment that scrolled away that I wanted to read. Sky, you said I should add trolls, and they have a bard with fluffy hair and a pierced navel and a love of body glitter. Hey, look, that would be pretty on brand. And then Court Meme, you said you finished reading Wriggly Little Hands a couple weeks ago, and you loved it. I'm glad to hear that. Thank you very much. I'm so glad you enjoyed it. Please leave a review wherever you bought it if you can. It helps a lot. But thank you, man. I'm so glad you enjoyed it. I'm hard at work on the sequel. James, you'd like to see roads connecting each one? Yes, or each region. So we will put roads in. We're just on the geography stages right now. We're just doing all the land, and we're gonna put trees in and whatnot, and then we'll do roads and cities, etc. Do I have any swampy land examples? Yeah, I'm from the swamps of Florida, man. I love swamp. So this whole dark green region, this is gonna be like the Amazon. I just haven't put the trees in there yet, but if we go to the map here, it's gonna look something like this. Although this is a more colorful asset pack, so actually, here, it's going to look something like this once we get our trees in there. Nice and swampy. What about the north area? So the north area is just not done yet. There's a lot of this map that we haven't worked on, as you can see. So we got a lot of regions to build. It's going to be fun. Thank you for the follows, everybody. I appreciate you. Oh, there's a lot of creatures in the book so far. Deus Ex, the book is Wriggly Little Hands. It's linked in my bio if you want to check it out. Creatures in the book include goblins, trolls, orcs. Awful Amalgamations are a creepy one. There's shadow creatures, elves, humans, terror birds. There are octo folk, as we called them. There's a henchman type of guy that's kind of like Frankenstein. Who may or may not unionize and overthrow their mad scientist creator. It's a very goofy book. Maladek, you're right, that is Cyprus down there. My family's from Cyprus, so we included it as an Easter egg, but it was way too obvious. It was rougher back then. It didn't look as much like Cyprus, but everybody spotted it. So we said, you know what? Cyprus is just going to canonically exist in this world. And now it does. And we'll write it into the stories. Alright, I gotta finish up the outside edge of this. So maybe just some more cliff, and then I need a mountain or two. I feel like this one needs to be more here. Maybe even sloped down like that. And then this guy can go in here. Let's turn it outward a bit. I feel like this is kind of working. I'm not sure I love it. But it's something. I want this to be beneath. There we go. Beneath the other mountain. Do you write the whole map or use a certain application for it? I'm using this. I'm making this in Incarnate for those asking. It's an online map maker. I'll put it in chat for you. There you go. Lil, yes, the book is published and out. Here's the cover. It's linked in my bio. It's an audiobook. It's an ebook. It's paperback. Any format you want, you can get it in. So feel free to check it out. It's for sale pretty much anywhere books are sold. Like I said, there's links in my bio, including links to my local bookstore where you could buy signed copies online or in person, but that's not going to be. Most of you aren't in Houston, so I don't think you're going to go in person to my local bookstore. But yeah, you can get it pretty much wherever you want. Thank you for the donut, Deets. Appreciate you, my guy. That's very kind of you. And you know what? We have a tradition around here. If you give a gift, you get a gift. So this little guy's yours now. Thank you very much. Enjoy. You get to name him. Don't feed him after midnight, whatever you do. And hide anything in your house that's flammable. Otherwise, it's great to have a goblin. They're wonderful pets. And companions. James, hello from Australia, my dude. That's a far-flung place. Happy to have far-flung for me. It's not far-flung for you. Welcome in, man. You're probably... God, Australia. Hold on, please. It's probably like... What time of day would we be looking at there? I mean, it's late at night for you, right? Alright, let's finish out the bottom of this crater. I don't know what to do on the bottom down here. I guess just a good cliffside and then maybe one mountain. So let's focus on that. We're going to find one cliff piece for this that's going to work right. And then we're going to put in a mountain. And I think that's going to complete it. Maybe... Chat, you see any pieces that look right for you? John Murray says hello from Ireland. And another person says hello from the Philippines. Y'all, how cool is that? A global audience here, man. That's just awesome. I love seeing people from all around the world. My first publisher was in the UK. And I still do a lot of work with them. So I have a lot of people that I talk to daily in the UK. And then my editor is in New Zealand. So I enjoy having this kind of big global community of people to know. It's nice to chat with folks living in a different part of the world, experiencing very different things than you. I think it's very eye-opening and important. I like this one here. Yeah, that looked good right there as the bottom. At a big tower castle, at a big castle tower, like one in Lord of the Rings near Mordor's border. So, SW... oh, I'm still on display capture, sorry. There we go. I do have one there. It's not visible yet, but if we go to the more zoomed in map, up in here, there you go. There's our knockoff Barad-dûr. Because the book is fantasy comedy. It satirizes other fantasy, so we make a little bit of fun of Lord of the Rings in there. Loving fun. I'm a huge Lord of the Rings fan. So that would exist right about here on the map. I just haven't put it in yet. IDK, this is Incarnate, in answer to your question. Online map maker. Alright, we got our last little cliff down there, so now I want to get one mountain. Let's find one mountain to finish this bad boy off. That could be a good one. This could be a good one. I think all these work. One of those, maybe. Obviously not in the water. Size it up a little bit. See which one we like. It needs a pacifist talking sword. That's pretty fun. I like that idea. You know, HJ, you said, are there any Game of Thrones references in it? I don't think there are, man. I kind of whiffed on that one. And I've read all of A Song of Ice and Fire. I'm a big fan. I don't think I put any Game of Thrones references in. But good news, I'm writing the sequel right now. So we could add them in. There we go. I'm liking that. Let's take away a little bit of land here. There we go. Alright. Y'all, it's looking pretty good. I'm kind of a fan of it. It looks like a boss fight area. I could see that. I could see that. Do we want another mountain like right in here? And put it on top of the cliff? That's kind of good. I kind of like that. Do we want it maybe horizontally flipped? I think I like it better that way. And then we're going to rotate this just a smidge. Don't mind me making the most minute changes to something that no one's ever going to zoom in and see when the whole map's actually this big. The Kraken boss fight. Oh, that'd be cool. That'd be cool. For those asking, I'm using... Yeah, thank you, James. I'm using Incarnate to make this. It is an online map maker. Folks, if you're just joining, welcome in. I'm author Alex Knight. I appreciate you joining me. I stream Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 7 a.m. Central. Mondays, I take any questions you have about writing, publishing, the book industry, any of that fun stuff. Please ask away. On Wednesdays, it's a bit of a wild card. Don't know what we're going to do. We always do a different stream format. And then on Fridays, we make maps like these here, or the one that we are making right now. So I appreciate you joining, hanging out. Give it a follow if you want to catch me on the next one. And as always, like I say, I'm a part-time streamer, but I'm a full-time author. So here's the book we're making the map for. If you want to give it a look, I'd appreciate it. It's linked in my bio. It's available pretty much anywhere books are sold. And if you want a goofy comedy adventure about goblins trying to retrieve the Dark Lord's doomsday weapons so they can help him defeat those pesky forces of good, but of course messing everything up in the process, Wriggly Little Hands. Give it a check. I'm gonna butcher this name, but would it be Kin Shi Hong? Said your fantasy maps are sick. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate that. It's very kind to you. And feel free to give me a phonetic spelling of your name if you want, so I can make sure I get it right. I suspect that might be from Mandarin, which I'm bad at. I'm okay at Korean. Gobi said, how many races do I have in the book? Well, the book's already published, so right here. And as linked in my bio, if you want to grab it. Right, let's see, let's count it off. We got goblins, we got orcs, which are distinct. We have trolls. We have shadow creatures. There are definitely like a demon type equivalent. There are elves. There are humans. Terror birds are kind of an animal. You wouldn't call that a race. So we got those. There's golems. There are sentient golems. There are sand people made of sand, but they were cursed to be that, so maybe they're not a race. Maybe that's just kind of a natural thing. I don't know. I count 8 off the top of my head, but there's probably more. There's a lot of silly things in there, so it's a pretty big, wide world. Reeler, you said low-key, I'm hooked on your speech. Maybe I got to go buy it. Hey, man, I'd appreciate it. Check it out. You might enjoy it. Oh, yeah, dragons. Sky, thank you. There is a dragon, I should say. Which, hey, Sky, you've read the book, so you would appreciate. Sky, did I show you this? I mapped out the points of interest from book 1. So see all those little letters? Those are scenes from book 1. And here's the goblin's journey. I put that on the map. You can see all the places they went to. And minor spoilers, but here's where they met our dragon friend. If you haven't read the book, well, here's the route of their journey. Minor spoilers on that, though, so let's hide it. Someone said this looks like Asia Minor. I mean, I can see it a little bit. It's interesting. I have people say it looks like Europe. People say it looks like Asia. People say it looks like the Middle East. I tried to make it not too distinctive to anything in the real world, except, of course, for throwing in my family's homeland of Cyprus. Just Brendan, it's not for a game, it's for my book right here, which is linked in my bio if you want to check it out. Alright, are we done? Did we finish this little crater up in here? What else could we add to? I guess, you know what? Some dead trees would be appropriate around the edge. I guess it depends on how recent for the backstory for those that weren't here, this crater was created by a wizard's experiment gone wrong. The ocean used to stop right here. And, well, he accidentally a massive kaboom and just blew this to pieces, and the ocean flooded in and expanded. So what else? We could put dead trees around it, but I feel like that's more of a historical event. That's not a recent explosion. So I don't know what else we want around this, you know? We made this in ink Carnet, for those asking. And oh, Grady, I haven't done any voice acting or anything like that. So you wouldn't know me from that. Just streaming mainly. Rambo, you said maybe some leftover traces of magic, floating islands or unnatural fauna. Could do something like that. I'm not entirely sure. Maybe we just sit on it. That was good progress on that for now. I'm going to think on these suggestions and ideas. We'll come back to that for another stream. For the moment, though, what else do we want to do? Yeah, there is desert. Here's the desert down here. And it actually continues over on this side of the map. So it's out of frame, but it kind of goes around the bottom here. But we got a nice big deserted region. We made that last stream. We did this whole desert. And it's canyons. That was a fun addition. At some point we got to get the trees in there, but we're kind of doing geography right now. This little peninsula needs some fleshing out. Just got hills, mountains on it right now. Fotis, you did see Cyprus. My family's from Cyprus, and we originally had an Easter egg, but it was too obvious, so we just said, you know what, Cyprus fully exists in this world now. And I'm going to make Halloumi canonical. Fantasy without swamps, not fantasy? Well, good news, my guy. This is going to be an entire swamp/Amazon rainforest region. Kind of the biggest element on the map, right through the center. I'm from the Florida swamps. My family moved from Cyprus to Florida. And I gotta have swamps in my stories. Always. Fotis, you're from Cyprus. Where in Cyprus, my guy? My family's from Morphu. And then post-invasion, Limassol. 1251, what's the scale? I don't know. I don't really know the scale of the map, but this is, I would say this is a large slice of the world, essentially. This is probably a third of the entire world, I would say. I don't know. I'm bad at that, though. I don't know how to do scale. I just make it look pretty. I can say canonically from the book, this little peninsula. Here, let's grab this tool so you can see it better. This peninsula down to here, this is a human kingdom. So if that helps color what we should put there a little bit. What's the Shrouded Mist? The Shrouded Mist over here, this area, is a region called the Barrows of Blissful Bewilderment. It's very creepy hills, tombs, and then this fog scrambles your thoughts when you get into it. This fog is like supernaturally stuck there, and when you go into it, it just scrambles your thoughts. You don't remember why you're there, where you're going, and it just results in people wandering aimlessly around in here with, like, you know, blank expressions on their face. Very creepy, malicious area there. I think, Fotis, you answered, you said, what was it? Your father was from Famagusta. You live in Larnaca now. Hey, Larnaca's a cool place, man, but sad about Famagusta. Freaking brutal. You thought it was pollution? You thought this was pollution? Fair. But nope, that is maliciously enchanted fog, essentially. I want to do a little bit of work on this peninsula, or even up in here. Why is there... How did this tree get out there? I don't think I changed the shape of the land. That guy just... I don't know how that moved. Maybe I placed it sloppily. So what we came up with for this, and actually, y'all, hey chat, I need an answer from you. We're gonna do a little poll here. See how this is, sorry, let me grab, here we go. All right, so this area right here, this is another kingdom. This red area is the Dark Lord's domain. This is evil land, bad guys. It used to be connected. If I can get my cursor the right size. It used to be connected right here. I was experimenting with putting a river through there to cut it off. I kind of like it connected. But I want to know, what do you guys think? Should this be... Because it used to look... I don't think I have what it used to look like. It used to be the top half was connected and the bottom half was this kind of delta looking thing. So, put 1 in the chat if you think you want it to be connected with a land bridge here. Put a 2 in chat if you want it to stay as it is. Because I could go either way. But I'm interested to see what y'all think. Because I see a lot of 2s initially. There's 1 vote for 1. A lot of 2s. Wow. Okay, we got 2 for 1, but an overwhelming number of 2s. I'll let it go for a little bit. There's another 1. More 2s. Okay, 2s are taking it at the moment. I'll give it another second. I've got 5 votes for 1 and an uncountable number of 2. So, I guess that means we want the land... Or wait, I now forget what I said. Was 1 for connecting it, or was 1 for leaving it as it is? I can't believe I forgot that. I'm very tired today, and I'm running out of coffee. 2 for keep as it is? Okay, so y'all want to keep it as it is. I would say that's overwhelmingly in favor of keeping it as is. All right, y'all like it being severed. Jory votes for 3, half and half. I saw someone said make it like a title flat. So can I have a map that has a very distinct title flat. I don't know if it's on this account though. It's not. It's on my old Incarnate account, so I can't pull it up. I did that once and I really liked the idea. Linny, you said, can I ask why you work on the map so often? Has it turned into extra income for streaming? No offense. No, not really. I don't make a lot of money off this. It's just a good way to promote that, hey, the book's out. Feel free to check it out. I'm working on the sequel. And then I kind of want the map because I intend to write a lot of books in this world. And book 1 only covers like this area here. It just like kind of like a Z shape through here. So there's a lot more world here to explore. So since I'm writing book 2 and plan more books in the series, I want to have a whole world here that I can put stories in. Also, I just enjoy making the maps. Honestly, if I weren't streaming, I'd just be doing this in my spare time, so I might as well hang out with y'all and do it, you know? Someone asked for ETA on book 2. I will finish. I'm on track to finish book 2 by the end of February. And publishing after that would probably take about, I'd say 2 months for the audio recording. And then we'd probably be good to publish. So I'd say expect this around the book 2 to come out, let's say June to be safe. Depends on what the publisher's timeline is and everything, but June would be safe. The right side needs some love. Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does. Sharik over on Video App said, I think I'm George R. R. Martin. Well, I can think it, but until I've sold as many millions of copies as he has, I ain't even close. But one day, maybe. One day, I hope. Which book has the lava bit? That is in book 1. So that's right in here. That's the Dark Lord's domain. You can see it better on our zoomed in map that we made a while ago. That is at the beginning of book 1. Azil said drink of the day. Black coffee with not enough sugar in it, so it's really bitter. I really messed up the flavoring on this one. Jory, we made this in Incarnate.com. It is an online map maker. That's how we've done it, just piece by piece. Thank you for the follows, y'all. There should be more marked settlements. Yeah, Sky, we will do that, but I do the geography first, and then we get the settlements in after that, in the countries and stuff. Pat Sheesh, you want a pitch for the book? Sure. Here, let's do that real quick. Wriggly Little Hands. It's out now in ebook, audio, paperback, any format you want pretty much, and anywhere pretty much that books are sold. It is a comedy fantasy about a bumbling family of goblins who go on a quest for the Dark Lord. They're trying to retrieve his doomsday weapons so they can help him defeat those pesky forces of good. Problem is they're goblins. They're not good at staying on task. They get distracted with side quests. Someone gives them a rocket wagon. That was a bad idea. So basically, they just go on a road trip with the vague goal in mind of helping their Dark Lord, and then just get easily distracted by everything on the way and cause utter chaos as they go throughout the journey. One reviewer described it as a D&D campaign where no one put any points into intelligence, and the DM is taking a shot after every chapter. That's pretty spot on. So if you want to check it out, it's linked in my bio, and you can read the story that goes through a lot of the terrain on this map. The artwork is done by Ivan Shavrin. He's credited on the title page of the book. You'll see it right when you open it up. He's an absolute genius. I love his artwork. And in fact, here, let's go here. There is a prequel that you can get for free if you join my newsletter or my Discord, which are linked in my bio. You can get this prequel completely free, or it's 99 cents on Amazon if you want. But Ivan Shavrin also did the artwork for this one. So shout out to him again. I'm going to get him on every book I can. I'm obsessed with his art. He's so good. And back to the map. All right, I want to work on this little place up here is what we said. Thank you, James. I'm glad you think it looks good, man. I appreciate you being here. So the lore for this little area, y'all, what we said is there's this high plateau. Um, and it's cold on top of it, but these craters are geothermal. They're heated from below, and so they're like a nice little fertile, livable region out inside of this cold plateau. And then when you go downhill, you get these more fertile regions. But I feel like there's some more work to be done around here. I don't know what though, in hindsight. Is the blue on the plateau mineral or ice? I think we said it was mineral. It's some sort of natural crystalline feature that sticks up out of the ground there. Kind of want to rotate a few of these. There we go. Troy, the book is called Wriggly Little Hands. It's out now, linked in my bio in all formats. Feel free to check it out if you like silly comedy fantasy books, kind of like Terry Pratchett-esque. The Shaolin Master. So what we're doing is we are making a map for my book. Here's the full map, and we're just working piecemeal, getting there piece by piece, using inkcarnate.com to make this. And Night for Owlet, you got it. Spot on, man. Inkcarnate. And we're just making the map for the book. While I work, once I get off stream, I'll be back to working on the sequel for the book. Balbus, you said how much of the book's written by AI? Absolutely none. I have been doing this job before AI was a thing. Didn't use it then, won't use it now. I enjoy the act of writing. I don't want something to write for me. Thank you, Wendy. I'm glad you like the map. The island that looks like Cyprus because it is Cyprus. My family's from there. It was an Easter egg we put in, and it was too obvious, so we went ahead and just said, you know what, Cyprus fully exists in this world, and we are going to make it canonical. It's a silly world, so we can do silly things like that. I feel like I want to do more to this. You know what? Let's get some bridges across these islands. That could be a cool little thing to add. Let's put some bridges in here. This would be a really cool area. That's clever, other name. Have I considered making Cyprus the shape of the sea? Like, make an ocean that looks like Cyprus, so that there's my Easter egg for it. That would have been a good way to do it. That would have been cool. But I actually do want it to exist as a place, because Cyprus is a very charming countryside there. I love being up in the mountains there, and I kind of want to actually write it. Like, I've been there, and I want to go back, and writing it in fiction would be a good way to kind of re-experience it. Sky, your uncle was born on Cyprus. Dude, rock on. Do you remember where? You know what town or city they're from? All but one of my uncles were born in Cyprus, I'm pretty sure. I think only one's American. I mean, they're all American now. Most of them are American now, but I think only one of them is from America originally. Oh, sorry, y'all can't see what I'm doing. I'm sitting here fidgeting with this bridge, and you can't even see it. Looks like a D&D map. Hey, I'll take that, man. I'm a big fan. I love D&D. The right bridge is bigger than the actual island. That's true. Good eye. Good eye. So realistically, this is a world, or kind of a lot of a world map, right? So realistically, you wouldn't be able to see bridges on it if you think about it. But I like to show the bridges where they are. So we'll consider that these bridges are perhaps stylized examples of what bridges exist there. Do I have any volcanoes? Yeah, this is a volcano here. I just haven't finished the art for it. But if we go to the more detailed map, you can kind of see it here. This is what it's going to look like. Similar to that, at least. There's a nice big evil volcano that's just definitely not me referencing Mount Doom or anything like that. Of course not. I would never do something like that in my book that satirizes fantasy. Andreas, you're from Cyprus as well. What's up, my guy? Where in Cyprus? Rock and roll. Dude, I just ate the rest of my halloumi. I'm all out, and I'm not happy about that. I kind of want this to be like a maze of bridges in here. That doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense. Like, logically, you wouldn't build more bridges than you need. But it's a fun idea. It's fun, right? Andreas, you live in, I always say it wrong. Nicosia. Yes, Nicosia. My brain always wants to say Nicosia, and my uncles get mad. They're like, it's Nicosia. Say it right. I always biff that for some reason. The entirety of Cyprus is joining. Y'all, that's a TikTok thing. If enough people see Cyprus on the map and type Cyprus in chat, TikTok begins pushing it to people from Cyprus, and then we just get a flood of Cypriots in chat, and honestly, it's very fun. I kind of like it. For those asking how we're making this with Incarnate, is an online map maker. And where was it? Ariana, you said, or Ariana? Dude, I'm trying to learn Incarnate. So you're doing this good? Thank you. I appreciate that. Ariana, if you're trying to learn Incarnate, use the link in my bio. It'll take you to my, I'm not supposed to say this, but YouTube. TikTok doesn't like when I say that. It'll take you there. All of my streams are recorded there, and I have a playlist of making the maps, so you can go back and watch me make the maps from start. If you want to kind of see how they begin and the things that I do first. Might help you a little bit if you're starting out. All right, y'all, we got a question. I think it would be fun to have bridges linking all of these islands. Lore-wise, this kingdom on the left, the people that live here, don't like the evil people that live here, right? The Dark Lord. So they wouldn't want to have a lot of bridges. What do we think? Do we want more bridges for fun, or do we want to keep it canonical such that these two are at war and thus would try to minimize the number of ways that the Dark Lord and his minions can get across, right? Eddie, you said, would you prefer we watch here or on video app? Whatever's easier for you, man. I'm happy for you to watch however you want. Wendy, maybe the evil people build the bridges. I'm kind of thinking that, right? Maybe the Dark Lord's building the bridges, and then the good guys are not good guys, but they're not stated as evil, at least, are knocking them down, trying to keep them separate. Eddie, thank you for the roses, my guy. I appreciate you. And you know what? We got a gift. We got a tradition around here. If you give a gift, you get a gift. So these guys are for you. Thank you for the roses. These are yours. Hide everything flammable in your house. I'm sorry. They have a penchant for starting fires. Also, don't feed them after midnight. Bad things happen. Otherwise, enjoy. They're lovely companions. The website we're using for this is incarnate.com. Online map maker. All right, I'm going to go with... Oh, Adam, you said, what's the name of the book? For those asking, here we go. Wriggly Little Hands. It's a comedy fantasy about goblins on a quest to retrieve the Dark Lord's doomsday weapon and help him defeat those pesky forces of good. But they're goblins. They're not good at their task. They get distracted. So if you want to check it out, links are in my bio. It's an ebook, it's an audiobook, it's a paperback. You can buy signed copies online through my local bookstore. Whatever you want, check it out. Y'all, I see the broken bridge comments. I don't know if I have an asset for a broken bridge. Let's take a look here. We'll go to this so you can see what I'm seeing. Yeah, I don't see any broken bridge assets here. We could try to jerry-rig one. Wendy, the cover was done by Ivan Shavrin. He's been my artist for 2 books now. I love working with him. That man's a genius. I can't believe how good of a job he did. I'll give you his name in chat. It's also on the title page of the book. But Ivan Shavrin, shout out to him, man. He's on Instagram. Oh, I'm not supposed to say that either. On TikTok. He's on that picture app, and he posts his art frequently. It's really good stuff. All right, so if we're going to go with the lore that the Dark Lord is constantly building bridges here, I'm going to have a lot of bridges on his side, and then not so many on the good guy side. Ronnie, you said maybe a cult's moved onto the islands and the bridges are important to them somehow. I could see that. I could see that. I like that because I have different colors for the climate on each one, the Dark Lord's bridges are more red. It's pretty fun. Alright, we're going to get super zoom for a moment so we can get this one lined up nicely. I think it needs to be just... like that is basically there. There we go. Okay, I kind of like how that's shaping out from the high-level view. That looks pretty good down in there. I'm a fan. GUI, you said this software is cool but looks overcomplicated. It's not too bad. It's not too bad. I am being incredibly detailed. I mean, you can do... like, here's a nice, simpler map that I made when I wasn't trying to do every detail in the world. It's really just about how much you want to do, you know? These are past maps that I've worked on. It's really just how much you want to work on it, you know? Loot, you said, how did I get my idea for my book? So for this book, I took a big chance on it, honestly. I just wanted to write something really funny. So, like, here's my other books. These are my book ones that I've written. And a lot of them, I have funny characters, but the overall plot is dramatic and action-packed. Like, I mean, this one's like Dragon Ball Z-esque. This one's like Jurassic Park. They're more dramatic. And I wanted to write something that was very goofy. Instead of just having a funny character, I wanted to have, like, the whole story be funny. So that's why I wrote Wrigley. And I didn't know, like, if anybody would like it. Like, literally every day I was writing it, I was like, I don't even know if they're going to laugh at the jokes in this, or if I'm just, like, completely too deep and I'm lost in the sauce. And it turns out people really enjoyed it. And I had a ton of fun writing it, so I want to write more of them. So I guess that was kind of the inspiration for that one. I'm just trying to have fun. Cannon, you want me to read a paragraph? Yeah, we can do that. GUI, Cyprus is there because my family's from Cyprus. So we included it as an homage. And we're going to make it canonical. It's going to exist in this world. But GUI, you wanted me to read a paragraph. We can do that. We can do that. Hold, please. I will pull it up. All right. There we go. There's the book on a website I'm not allowed to mention. I also have doodles at the beginning of each chapter that I commissioned an artist friend to do. So there's some fun little doodles. And here we go. We'll read from chapter 1. Goblins look like if cats, hairless cats, had thumbs and learned to walk on 2 legs. But while cats are allowed to commit as many crimes as they want, on account of being cute and small, the same hasn't been true of goblins ever since they discovered arson. Today, however, it wasn't goblins setting fire to everything. Ollie had been excited, at first, when so many new friends had shown up on the plains of abandoned hope and paralyzing fear. He'd been even more excited when he noticed all the fun siege engines and war mammoths they'd brought along. But then his new friends, the Bright Queen and the Army of the Just, had laid siege to his old friends, the Dark Lord and his legions of smoldering shadow. In Goblin society, it was polite to greet new neighbors with a nice newt cake or a fresh pot of warmed mud. In human society, it seemed wanton slaughter was the go-to. That was how the Bright Queen had decided to introduce herself to the Dark Lord, at least. And who was Ollie to judge? Wouldn't be the worst thing in the world if they could do it all a bit quieter, though. And maybe not burn down half the swamp again, especially considering that was the half he and his cousins lived in. So there you go. There's the first few lines of Wriggly Little Hands. If you want, I hope you enjoyed it. If you want to try out a little bit more, I'll point you over to here. This prequel is free if you join my newsletter or my Discord, which are linked in my bio. You can get this story. It's a prequel to the main book, and you can get it entirely free or for 99 cents on Amazon. And you also get this novella for free, which is a prequel to my serious fantasy book, Servant of Rage. So between the two of those, that's half of a book for free. Just got to join my newsletter or my Discord, which again are linked in my bio. But back to the map. Peter, I am on the pro level of Incarnate. I know they just redid how their pricing model is. I believe I'm on the highest tier, but I was grandfathered in from their old rates, so I have a really good deal on it. Their new prices are not as good of a deal, but still worth it at the mid-tier level, I'd say. Ronnie, you said your non-hairless cat, Ollie, says he would never commit a crime. Please post pictures of your cat in the Discord. I love hairless. Oh, non-hairless cat. Ah, your normal furry cat. I'm sure he would never commit a crime. Not at all. Junao, you said put an evil area in the map. Well, definitely. Right here. This is what that red area is. It's the Dark Lord's domain. It is quite evil. It's this area right here. Just haven't done it in full detail yet. Alright, y'all. Well, thank you for joining me today. I think this has been a good stream. We made great progress. I love that we finally got this crater kind of fleshed out more. It looks pretty cool now. I'm a big fan of it. We also did all of these plains. The creepy plains of abandoned hope and paralyzing fear. Maybe a few too many hills in there. Maybe we need to space them out a little bit. That was fun. And we worked a little bit on this whole bridge section down here. So thank you very much for joining today, folks. If you want to catch me on the next one, I'll be back on Monday. Please give me a follow so I can see you then. On Mondays, we do Q&A with basically I answer any questions you got about writing, publishing books, any fun stuff like that. Please ask away. Deshaun, we are using inkcarnate.com to make this. It's a free online map maker. It does have paid tiers as well. But thank you for joining me today. Like I say, I'm a part-time streamer. I'm a full-time author. So if you want to check out my books, here they are. They're all linked in my bio. You can find them pretty much everywhere books are sold. And if any of them look good, look interesting to you, please try them out. I'd appreciate it. That's how I keep putting food on the table. So thank you for joining me today, everybody. It's been an absolute pleasure. Ariana, what software do I write on? I use Google Drive and Google Docs because it syncs across my phone, my laptop, and my desktop. I really like that. So that's all I do. Really simple. I know there's a lot of good writing software out there, but I keep it pretty chill. So as always, folks, a thanks to Kevin MacLeod of Incompetech.com, who has provided our background music entitled Farm, Manor, Cottages, and Northern Glade. Those are the 4 songs from him that I've used. Thank you very much for him for providing those under the Creative Commons license. As well as special thanks to community member Raffi the Engineer, who has provided our 5th background song entitled Midnight at the Round Table. Raffi, I appreciate you, my guy. As always, a shout out to my excellent moderators, Melissa Lee 28, Raffi the Engineer, One Happy Harpy, The Seth Word, Other Name Wasn't Available, aka Slindy, Leisha T, and Aaron Winnick. I appreciate y'all. But I also appreciate chat for not needing much moderation. Y'all bring a cool, chill, cozy vibe, and I appreciate that. So thank you very much, chat. Thank you for being chill, hanging out, kicking the day off with me, and hope you had fun today. Baum, or Poison as you used to go by. Hello, welcome in. Thank you very much. I hope you're doing well. Glad to see you here. How's the streaming been going for you? It's been going well? Ariana, you said, what's the best advice to get into editing a first draft? You're dreading it. Honestly, just read through it. Look for typos. Look for things that don't flow. Read through it. all the way, start to finish, and as you go, just mark sections that feel wrong to you. But honestly, the best thing you can do for editing is have someone else do it. You make your own editing pass, obviously, but you're so familiar with the text that you're always going to miss typos, or things might make sense to you because you know the whole story, but to a new person reading it, it might not make sense. So you really need a fresh pair of eyes. I always recommend getting an editor after you've done your self-editing. But yeah. Poison, you said you've missed everyone, but streaming's going well. You're doing your first birthday stream on Saturday. Hey, congratulations. I hope that goes well for you. I got to tune in more. I need to get notifications for when you go live. I'm glad it's going well for you, though. One of our OGs here was here from pretty much day one. Baum, I'm glad you made it in for the end here. Sorry to dip out on you, but I was just on the way out. So y'all, thank you for joining me today. I hope you had a great time. I certainly have. It's been a pleasure streaming with you today. And we'll pick up work on the map again next Friday, but we'll be back Monday and Wednesday for streaming. Maybe we do a double map stream next week. Maybe we do Wednesday and Friday. We'll think about it. We'll plant the seed of that. Until then, though, folks, thank you for tuning in. Xfinity, I'll answer your question right here at the end. We use Incarnate to make this, incarnate.com. I just typed it in chat there. Everybody else, thank you for joining me today. I hope you have a great Friday, an excellent weekend. And y'all, I will catch you on Monday. Until then, be excellent to each other, and peace out, folks.